What's up, people? I'm going to start this off by saying if you had any lingering hope for the redemption of mankind, I want you to be prepared to possibly say goodbye to them in the next few minutes. Because today, we're going to be talking about maps. And before any of you cartographers out there get excited, MAPS is an acronym for Minor Attracted Persons. Now, I started this video a few weeks back, but what I found while researching it caused me to take a little break because it led me to kind of a dark place, as well as probably a few watch lists, if not the CIA's recruitment department. Anyhow, a lot of what I found I won't be able to show and won't even talk about in too much detail, but here goes.
Abandon hope, all ye who enter here.
The impetus for this video came from an interview a while back between an Old Dominion University professor, and more on that in a second, and the Prostasia Foundation, I don't fucking know. And while wackos in academia are nothing new, this is some next level shit, and after doing the aforementioned research, I found that this is something that needs to be shared far and wide with anyone still possessing a moral compass. The professor's name is Alan Walker. They're a queer criminologist and abolitionist that's terrible at Twitter. Yeah, no shit. And they also recently put out a book, which I won't even dignify by naming, that seeks to normalize the term minor attracted persons. Have a look.
I use the term minor attracted person, or MAP, in the title and throughout the book for multiple reasons. First of all, because I think it's important to use terminology for groups that members of that group want others to use for them. And MAP advocacy groups like Before You Act have advocated for use of the term MAP. They've advocated for it primarily because it's less stigmatizing than other terms like pedophile. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. And that isn't true, and it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attractions toward minors. I've definitely heard the idea that you brought up, though, that the use of the term minor attracted person suggests that it's okay to be attracted to children. But using a term that communicates who someone is attracted to doesn't indicate anything about the morality of that attraction.
Now, like the dear professor hinted at, a person who is attracted to minors is also known as a pedophile. And no amount of this modern game of lingual gymnastics will change that. People talk about the slippery slope when it comes to a lot of things, but this is one where we can't afford to put our feet within a country mile. Because a pedophile is only one step away from becoming a pederast. I mean, if I said I had thoughts about committing mass murder on a daily basis, would you be saying, let's get rid of the stigma around killing people? Or would you say, get that motherfucker behind bars before he hurts someone?
I don't give a tuppenny fuck about your moral conundrum, you meat-headed shitsack.
I said earlier that there were things I found while researching this that I wouldn't be able to show or really talk about. And going back over it now, the page that I was using to link to all this depravity is now gone. And it's probably for the best. But know that some of it involved what you're reading on the screen here. This story does have a somewhat happy ending, however, as the professor eventually stepped down after the university placed him on leave following substantial backlash. And though some would say this amounts to cancel culture, I'm willing to make an exception for it in this case. Because when the media and big tech are out here trying to minimize or silence the discussion, or even outright profiting off of child exploitation, the onus falls on everyday people to root out those who would pose a threat to our most vulnerable. For in the words of Alexander Solzhenitsyn, in keeping silent about evil, we are implanting it, and it will rise up 1,000-fold in the future.